welcome back to my YouTube. Today we are going to talk about bones of cranium. We will start our topic with introduction. Cranium is bony structure that encloses and protects the brain. It consists of several bones that are fused together to form a rigid framework. Now let's talk about cranium. Cranium is divided into two parts. The first is neurocranium, that is protective case around the brain, and the other is viscerocranium, that is also called as facial skeleton, and it supports the face and sensory organs. And today we will talk about bones of neurocranium. So, starting our topic, bones of neurocranium. The cranium consists of 8 bones, or neurocranium consists of 8 bones which are classified as either paired or unpaired. The first is frontal bone, that is unpaired bone. The second is parietal bone, that is paired bone. The third is temporal bone, that is also paired bone, and the fourth is occipital bone, that is unpaired bone, and the fifth is sphenoid bone, that is unpaired bone, and sixth is ethmoid bone, that is also unpaired. First, we will talk about frontal bone, that is unpaired. That means it will be one in each skull of a person or human. So, frontal bone forms the forehead and the upper part of the eye sockets that are also called as orbits, and it contains frontal sinuses and articulates with the parietal bones at the coronal suture behind. Now let's talk about the second bone of the neurocranium, that is parietal bone, that is spare bone. That means there are two in every skull, and they are located on the sides and top of skull. They are connected to other bones by suture, including sagittal suture, that is between the left and right parietal bones, and also to the other bones. Next bone of neurocranium we are going to talk about is temporal bone, that is also paired bone. That means there will be two in every skull. They are found on the lower side of the skull near the ears, and it contains structures related to hearing such as external acoustic meatus that is visible from the outside of the skull. And it also includes the mastoid process and styloid process that are important for muscle attachment. Next bone we are going to talk about is occipital bone, that is unpaired bone of neurocranium. That means there will be only one occipital bone in every skull, and it forms the back of the skull. Features it include its foramen and magnum through which spinal cord passes, and it articulates with atlas, that is C1 vertebra at the occipital condyles. Next bone of neurocranium we are going to talk about is sphenoid bone, that is unpaired bone. That means that there will be one bone in every skull. They are located at the base of cranium, and it connects to multiple bones and form the orbit. It contains the sella turcica, which houses the pituitary gland. The next bone we have is ethmoid bone, that is also unpaired bone. It is located between the orbits and forms part of nasal cavity. It contains the cribriform plate through which olfactory nerve passes. It forms the nasal septum along with vomer bone. Now we will talk about the functions of cranial bone. The first function of cranial bone, the most important function of cranial bone, is brain protection. As it forms the rigid case to protect against trauma, so that's how they perform or give brain the protection. The next function of cranial bones are sensory support, as it provides structural support for the eyes, ears, and nasal cavity. The next function of cranial bone is attachment for muscles, as it serves as a point of attachment for facial and head muscles. And it also serves as a passage for blood vessels and nerve. That it has foramina, that are basically holes for critical structures like the optic nerve, spinal cord, and other nerves and vessels that help to pass the blood vessels and nerves and everything from the brain and to the brain. Now let's talk about the clinical relevance of the skull bones. The first clinical relevance is about the fractures, as fracture of cranial bone can affect neurological functions, and sutural defects that indicate congenital disorders may be there, and cranial surgeries require detailed knowledge of cranial bones, such as craniotomies require detailed anatomical knowledge. So this was about the cranial bones. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.